Morning, everybody. It's Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's been an amazing week of troublemaking. What? Kyle said me no. He's telling me no. Telling me, yeah, you can hear me. All right, let's music.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare with me.
I don't know what happened there. I was picking up the wrong signals. I was like,
wrong signals. I was just shaking my head. I was getting in the groove.
Can't hear me. If you're just listening on the podcast, we have a live stream version of this show where, Kyle and I are just staring at each other face to face, which is pretty much what we do.
All day anyway.
It's pretty much just like this. We just happen to live stream this portion of it every morning.
That's actually how we came up with the pod. We were like, we should record this stuff. We talk about some fun stuff every once in a while.
It is. If you want to laugh, go to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, and just go back to episode 00. And that literally happened about 10 seconds after we were like, we should do a podcast every day. We just need to do it. We're like, we just have to hit record. And I literally just hit record. And that's what started 104 episodes ago. It has been such an amazing week in the troublemaker universe, in the automotive universe. We've had great conversations on Clubhouse. We've had a lot of people emailing back and forth. We're getting swag delivered every single day now, it feels like. So the swag store is filling up. We're about to do fulfillment on the people who have signed up and shared the email. If you don't know, we have an amazing email. Today's is especially hot. Especially.
Yeah. You know what I just thought about, Paul? This is crazy. What? So yesterday, speaking of swag, right? Yesterday we got a quick photo from one of our swag providers, and they made the ASOTU hat, the one that Paul and I wear all the time. They made one and accidentally they did it white stitching.
Which means black on black. It was white.
It will be one of one. We should auction that off for charity or something really cool. That could be we're going to do something cool with that 101.
Yeah. Hopefully, and we'll attach an NFT to it. We'll put it in a little box and bring it to NADA with us. Yeah, so NADA plans are in full effect. If you didn't hear, we're going to be there running with a full crew of 6. They're going to think a pirate ship just pulled up out front and dropped off at the front. We hope we can see and talk to everyone that is going to be there. So if you're going to be there, if you're a dealer, please let us know. Send us an email at crew@asotu.com. We'd love to sit down and talk to you for a minute. Just say hi, maybe record a little content. If you have a product and want us to talk to one of your executives or your CEO, let us know. If you have a booth, let us know, because we're rolling through heavy. If you can't be there, we are going to do our very best to make you feel like you were there with the content. So get ready. We'll be releasing a schedule. We'll do several live streams a day, putting out a ton of content. We got your back. Okay.
Yeah.
Got your back.
If you're not going to be there, email us at crew@asotu.com and let us know what questions or vendors or things you want us to stop by. And even if it's a few minutes, we'll try and get those answers for you.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. We're running flat out. Let's talk about some things, because we're live streaming, and in 8 minutes, we're about to go into David Long's All Things Used Cars room that we've been collabing with him on, which is an amazing room. Go to ASOTU. Oh, you can't get it at ASOTU.club. All Things Used Cars. You can see it right here. You can just search it, really. Just search All Things Used Cars. The club will pop up, and you can get on that. Let's talk about some news while we got some time.
Yeah.
We got some we're a little OEM heavy today, which is cool. Yeah. It's just cool because it's still connected to the people in a lot of ways. Yes. Subaru Consumer Reports annual report came out of kind of the safest, most reliable, most user-friendly vehicles, and Subaru ticked up 2 notches to top the list. And when I think of a Subaru, I just think of it on top of a hill, right? Because that's what Subarus are meant to do.
I'm a little bit sad. I was a Mazda guy for 8 years. And to see them I
thought about that.
They took Honda and Lexus, boom, and then all of a sudden it was Subaru came in hot, right? I was like, oh man, too bad. So
one of the things that I thought was interesting is you kind of read through the list, you see how people jockey around positions, up a couple, down a couple. Tesla dropped 7 spots to 23rd on the list. I was shocked, right? Because you hear Tesla is, always, doing these great things and being really innovative.
Right.
And they went down to number 23 on the list. I was like, wow, okay. Well, what's going on? Consumer Reports, let us know. One of the things,
Elon, you got some splaining to do,
Splaining. Elon don't splain to nobody, right? Elon's complaining about the SEC right now.
Right, exactly.
He's like, whoa. They're going way too far. He could care less about Consumer Reports right now.
Right.
But the list, they said specifically on 3 models, I can't remember. It was like the X, not the 3. I think it was the X, the Y. They just said the steering wheel is hard to use. And I don't think they mean like the turning part of it. It's just got it's got a few buttons. It's very simple. I rented one a few weeks ago via Turo. I'm trying to think if I found it a little confusing. It was a little bit, it was more like a video game joystick where it just had like 2 buttons and they were jog wheels and there were no labels. So I can definitely see how that could be a little confusing because it definitely
it's almost like skipping, the learning capacity. Like, you think about like some websites or some apps and it's almost like so forward that you almost can't get there from a user experience or user interface. Right. So
remember the first time
some of that.
It's like, remember when iPhone came out and gestures and things like that, you just weren't used to using it in that way. Right. What do you mean swipe to the side and something happens? Right. That wasn't a part of anything. Now it's very intuitive. I have a feeling that if, a 12 to 16-year-old or 12 to 18-year-old got in a Tesla, they would figure out that steering wheel faster than they would figure out a steering wheel that us old folks are used to. Exactly. So that's going to change, but that was interesting. So congratulations to the team at Subaru. Always working. I think Subaru's got one of the strongest brands. I would say that Subaru as an OEM probably understands their brand more than any other OEM.
They not just understand their brand, they understand their people. Like they know
that's why. Yes.
Who the circle is, right?
Yep.
Like I have a buddy that every time he gets a Subaru like mailer because they have a Subaru, he like looks at it and he's like, dang it, they got me pegged. Right. It's great. Like he's like, yep, everything about this little ad is like, yep, directly targeted at who I am and who our family is. So they know their people, they know their brand for sure.
Thanks, Rob. Email is full of quality memes. The email today is so good. I'm telling you, if you don't get the email, go to ASOTU.com, go to media, push back email, and look at today's, and I guarantee you will have a laugh. Some of these stories were actually in there. This is one of them. We actually led with this story today. Kyle, why don't you talk about this since you looked into it a little bit more?
Yeah, it's so cool. So the CEO of Volkswagen, not of America, but of like Volkswagen Motors or Volkswagen Automotive Group, I think it is in Germany, actually did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. And if you're not familiar with Ask Me Anything, essentially a public figure will go into what's called a subreddit, which is, we'll just call it a conversation. Okay. And in this conversation, what happened for an hour was people were able to post questions and then he just live responded to them as quickly as he possibly could. Right. And so it's a really interesting thing for an executive leader of an OEM to go, hey, look, we're going to have a conversation with anybody that would like to join on a platform like Reddit, which is
open forum,
a huge open forum, and actually answer. I mean, when I went through it, I was like, wow, this cat, either he had 5 people logged into his thing, or he was just running and gunning, right? He was rolling. But you could kind of actually tell that he was just rolling because, there were those, as you're typing, there were those minor typing mistakes, minor grammar things. So it wasn't like super buttoned up. It was just really like a guy on Reddit. And I think we might see that in like, Discords and Reddit and subreddits over the next few years. And I was actually challenging. I hope so. Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. Like, especially if you are like a dealership and maybe you are the dealership that's kind of the mayor of the community. How cool would it be if there's some level of community around, your leadership and your leadership's doing engaging things on a subreddit or a Discord channel or anything like that. Super interesting play. Kudos.
It is. I mean, yeah, very big time. Talk about understanding your people, right? How do you do that? You speak with them directly. And in an age when transparency is so important, and getting to know who's leading a company is very important, more important than it's ever been. It was just a great heads up move and a pretty brave move. There's another story we covered today is Meta is giving back the data that Congress said they wrongfully collected, or the lawsuit that they wrong 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And they're like, cool, we'll give it back. Here you go.
Yeah. They had to drop a couple coins on it. I think it was like $90 million or something like that, which to them is like, yeah, whatever. We'll see this one by. But the interesting thing of
read it, you got to say it.
we got all this data, right? And we're gonna give it back 10 years later. Don't worry, we didn't do much with it, right? We didn't enhance it or advertise off it or anything.
Market off it, build like audience, right? Actually, the derivative data is much more valuable than the actual data at this point.
But we'll give it back. No big deal.
It's what did really one of our writers, Chris, who we'll introduce to you in person at some point. He was like, it's like bringing back a copy of Shrek 10 years later, like the VHS copy, but like, here, I gave it back, right? No one can do anything with it.
Blockbuster fees have been going crazy for 10 years, but you're like, nah, you brought it back. Don't worry about it.
Here you go. Here you go. Let's see. We only have a couple minutes here because we're jumping to all things used cars. If you grew up when we grew up and you understand Back to the Future and what a DeLorean is, you may be excited to know there's an EV DeLorean coming out.
I'm excited to see what they do with that. I hope they kind of like hail from, you know, the times when DeLorean was quote unquote great, right? And was in the movie and all that type of stuff.
I'm surprised that Elon did not buy DeLorean. Like try to get his hands on this and release the Tesla DeLorean. I mean, they already got the gull wing doors going, you know, they already got this stuff. But so what actually happened is DeLorean went out of business. Somebody bought DeLorean. Who was it that bought it?
Oh goodness.
British engineer Stephen Wynn acquired the rights to DeLorean name back in 1995. The new DeLorean company is considered the world's largest source of DeLorean parts and repairs. He's started making plans in 97 to release it in small batches. The new one's going to be electrified. I'm reading from an article on Inside EVs right now. So, you know, for anybody that's into it, an electric DeLorean is probably going to be pretty dope, especially because like when you see it in the movie, it doesn't really make like the engine sound. Anyway,
no,
it kind of has that EV sound to it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you know, just a little bit of culture for everybody.
We're actually time traveling. There we go.
We actually are. Hey, thank you so much for spending time with us today. You know, we appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts because we need more troublemakers like you paying attention to this. Please share the email on the podcast. We get more people in this conversation and go kick in the walls of the barbarians.